everyone. I'm Nate.
Michael.
And welcome back to the Olympic Ultras podcast. I believe this is episode 14 already, which is very...
It's quite amazing, actually.
It's actually quite quick how much it caught up.
How fast it's gone, yes.
If you're watching this via Spotify, you'll notice a small change. Latency is a little bit closer.
Yes.
Which is absolutely lovely. If you're watching this via YouTube, there's a massive change.
Yes, a huge change.
We are no longer doing this via Zoom, which is fantastic.
I hope change for the better.
Change for the better, I hope. And, thank you for bearing with us as the evolution of our podcast moves forward. We are obviously amateurs.
So we started as extreme amateurs.
And
we've gone up a couple of notches.
We've gone up a little bit of notches. We're still freaks, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So if you've come to us through Spotify or through YouTube, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram so that you can see what we've been up to. So without further ado, we'll get straight into it. Cool. So we have, as usual, first off, we kick off with the women's.
Yep.
Our game to review is Penn Power 0, Olympic 5 at Goulburn Park.
What a great result that was.
Fantastic result.
Absolutely brilliant result. The girls were just magnificent. I mean, the way they performed their play, the way they approached the game, it was just a really good game.
It was a really good game. It was a game that a lot of things seemed to come together. We're starting to shake off a little bit more of that rustiness, so we're really starting to really find how Cam wants us to play.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely.
So that was goals from Huron, a penalty from Cuba, an absolute rocket of a penalty from Cuba.
I thought she tore the back of the net. It was
it was amazing.
A crazy penalty.
And just the 3 from Sarah Daly.
Woohoo, Sarah.
Just the 3.
Hat-trick hero.
Absolute masterclass from Sarah. Yes, the Penn Power goalkeeper had her mistakes.
Yeah, I think she's one of those players that has huge potential because she also pulled off some really good saves.
She also pulled off some fantastic saves.
Some of her positional play was really good when it comes to corners and kicks in from the side. But I think, like any club, you need goalkeeper coaching. Whether they do have that at Penn Power, I would assume they do. But I think she's only going to get better.
She's only going to get better. I believe she was a 23s.
Yeah, it could be nerves, could be a lack of confidence in her own ability, but she pulled off some magnificent saves as well.
She did. But we can make the comment that, she made her mistakes and everything like that. But people like Sarah had to be there for all of them.
Exactly right.
She has to be able to read that game, and she has to be, present and with attention.
Yeah. And she's got to control where she's been, where she's placed, where her running is taking her.
Yeah.
So, it's not just goalkeeper. It was great play by the girls.
It was absolutely fantastic. But again, no early goal.
No.
We seem to be shutting that out, which is very awesome.
Brilliant.
Cam did mention that is something that they are working on fixing. So it's absolutely brilliant to see that is moving forward. But Ernie, our goalkeeper, actually had very little to do.
Yeah, she was very quiet, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a testament to our midfield and our back line.
Yep.
Obviously, the play goes through the front line. I wouldn't say easy, but probably on most teams, it goes to the front line.
Yeah, it's still good to defend from the front line, but...
Yeah, some of that midfield to shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
But it did go through. Our backs cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Victoria leading the line at the back there. Brilliant.
Yeah. But Ernie had to stay concentrated because Penn Power had a couple of those cheeky efforts.
Yeah. And that's hard for a keeper when the game is quiet on the goalkeeper's side of things because you've got to remain focused.
Yeah, exactly right.
At every level.
Yeah. Penn Power had a couple of cheeky efforts from a free kick, especially where our minds casted back to Matt Lugo in the Oz Cup against South Melbourne, sadly, which Lugo unfortunately didn't keep out. But it was a very, very similar effort where Penn Power was still setting up their attack, and the person who's taking the free kick decided, why not?
Have a go.
Yeah. And good on her, she almost snuck it in.
She almost did, yep.
Ernie, to her credit, really got her across there.
Truly.
Who's the player that impressed you the most during this match?
Oh, apart from the 11 plus the bench?
I know. It's so difficult to do this with the women every time because they're, I think, 10 games on the bounce now with the wins. So it's so difficult to do this every time. But
yeah, I really was impressed with Victoria's effort.
Yep.
She just seemed to control the whole line.
Mm-hmm.
The captain Kez, again, direction, everything, beautiful play, settled things down. Player. She directed from the middle there. Just an awesome. But I think Victoria played really well in my mind.
Yeah. I already mentioned it a little bit of time, but for me, the easy answer is Sarah Daly. 3 goals, had to be alert the entire time, had to be ready to jump on those balls and things like that. But I don't think you can overlook, for me personally, Eva Horon, to pick up that ball so early and, such a beautiful curling effort into the bottom corner.
Yeah.
But also just her regular contributions in what is really a star-studded midfield, her regular contributions to be able to play the pass through.
Very much so.
And things like that and stitch that all together. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
On the right-hand side too, we look at Georgia. I mean, she's been back for only a couple of games now.
I think she played the whole 90.
Yeah, you wouldn't even think she'd been away.
No.
I mean, she's obviously retained her fitness level. Yeah. She's lost her desire to play. She put in a massive effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Credit to Georgia. Credit to everyone.
And we only mentioned today, we looked at our bench.
Yeah.
And we thought, we need to have a starting 16. The bench is that good.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal how good that bench is.
Yeah, and we've said for the last couple of weeks that, I could pick an 11 and Mike could pick an 11. It'd be 2 completely different 11s.
And it was.
We put that to the test, and it was. And I picked my 11 and then looked through who I had missed, and I was horrified at who I missed from my 11, and so were you. As we were talking about that. So it really is just a testament to the squad that Cam has produced, and Tom and everyone else in the backroom staff, and the work that they do on the field as well. It can't be understated.
Oh God, no. The job's tremendous.
Yeah. And moving forward, games to review. This is going to be a cracker. We have Capalaba Bulldogs at Capalaba on Mother's Day, by the way, at 6 p.m. So get your Mother's Day stuff out of the way and done with.
Poor mums.
Jeez. Well, there's a few of them on the pitch.
There is a few mums on the pitch, and they deserve to be treated and looked after.
Exactly right.
But it's going to...
Yeah.
If there's any game that's worried me, this game worries me.
Caboolture worried me in a way that Caboolture was sort of touted as one of the heavyweights.
Yeah.
Capalaba's worrying me in the fact that while doing my research, they're 5 wins on the bounce.
Yeah.
They've scored some absolutely a lot of goals. They won 6-0 against Narangba in the Cup, 6-2 against Southside Eagles in the Kappa Pro Series, 4-2 against Penn Power in the league, 6-4 against Virginia in the Queensland Cup in the next round of the Queensland Cup, and then 6-0 against North Brisbane. And I remember thinking, because we came into last weekend second by goals scored.
Goals scored, yes.
And we scored 5 against Penn Power, and we went, all right, match that, Capalaba.
And they did.
They scored 6. So we are now second on the ladder by goals scored and goal difference.
Yeah.
But however, they only finished second in the Kappa Pro Series.
Okay.
They did get through to the next round. So with the women's Kappa Pro Series as opposed to the men's, there's 5 groups.
Yep.
The first go through, and then the 3 best second place teams go through. So they got through as one of the 3 best second place teams. They had 1 loss, which was against North Brisbane, funnily enough, who they just smashed 6-0.
Yeah, 6 on the weekend. Yeah.
So interesting. Obviously, they're coming good. Like I said, that's 5 wins on the bounce for them. A lot of goals scored. 14 so far in the league, with only 3 against in the league. A very, very similar record to us. We've scored 11, conceded the 1.
Yeah.
So very, very similar record. But yeah, this game's going to have goals.
Yeah, it will have goals. If there's no goals, it's going to be one of the best nil-all draws I've ever seen.
It's going to be one of the best nil-all draws.
It's going to be a classic game.
And we were talking about earlier, and this Olympic put up a video as well about it, that we are the only team in FQPL 2 and above to have 10 wins in a row, have 0 draws, 0 losses in all our competitive matches.
An absolute testament to everybody.
Fantastic testament. That will be tested.
That will be tested, yeah. I still think the girls had the ability.
Yeah, me too.
I believe they have the skill set and the mindset to overcome Capalaba. It's an away game.
It's an away game. It's at John Fredericks Park.
Yep. Not an easy ground.
Not an easy ground to go to. We've gone to a couple of games at Capalaba, and it's not an easy ground.
Yeah, it's one of those grounds that seem to have a bogey touch when it comes to Olympic.
Yeah, definitely.
But I really believe I've seen the girls play in different sides. No disrespect to Ipswich Knights, but easy side to play the likes of Caboolture.
Yep.
And their whole mentality switches.
Yeah,
exactly. And you can see it when they switch up.
Yeah.
They're a lot more determined. They're a lot more grit on their face. So I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I definitely agree. As we've mentioned every single time, I think we could almost have a counter. We have so many good players across the first 11 across the bench, even in the 23s who are coming up. People like Erin Gould, who I believe trains with the 23s, but sort of sits on the bench almost always for the seniors games and has come on and made her contributions.
Yeah, she's done well.
Made some fantastic contributions. We've also got Telly, who's only played one game so far.
Yeah, against Ipswich Knights.
Against Ipswich Knights in the Cup. I'm not too sure where she's been, but hopefully she comes back for this game because she was dynamite as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have the players and we have the versatility. We have a number of players such as Kiz who can play in the back line as well as the midfield. We've even seen Georgia Muir slot into one of the two attacking roles before as well when we've brought on like Ruby or someone like that, or even Maddie Foley-Lewis to be that wing-back role. So we've got a bit of versatility there that the players can shift and move, and we can shuffle the pack if we need to.
They're not one name, one position players. I think even Victoria was playing right back here the other night.
Yeah, exactly.
And very, very successful. So they're very, very, what's the word? Adaptable when it comes to various playing positions.
Yeah, and that's the modern game. That's the modern game. A lot of players all over the world have various positions they can slot into. If someone's having a bad game, you can just, again, shuffle the pack around a little bit. And it's just absolutely fantastic seeing that down at this level, you know.
Yeah, it's great. It obviously is a testament to, as you said, Cam and Tom and the rest of the backroom staff to know and adapt that into the girls' play.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, girl, you can play 3 or 4 positions. You can play 3 or 4 positions.
Yeah. So someone's not feeling well, someone's having
and the players have the confidence to take that up.
Yeah.
Go, I can do that.
Yeah, no worries. They just they pick it up.
Done.
Yeah, exactly right. So
brilliant.
Absolute testament to the girls. We've developed quite a fantastic relationship with them. You know, they always make sure to say hello to us and everything like that.
Really nice. It's really nice. And I applaud the team for that.
Yeah, and you know,
we're just supporters.
Freaks.
We try and get along as much as we can to see the girls play.
We're freaks, according to Tony.
According to Tony, Victoria's dad, according to Tony. But it's just nice to see them play too.
It is. They're a fantastic team. They are up for all 5 trophies
at this stage. Yeah, they're running for all 5.
Very much up there. I'm quietly confident against QAS, which shall be announced in soonish. But they have a grand total of 7 games this month.
Yeah,
obviously already played one.
Yeah,
and already playing all the way late into May on the 31st as well. It's 7 games is a lot.
Huge effort. It's a huge effort. I mean, all we can do is hope that there's no injuries to any players.
Yeah, definitely.
So the girls remain fully fit. They're obviously committed. I mean, their mentality level is so strong anyway. But yeah, 7 games is a lot.
It's a lot, and we always knew that the rain would catch up to us.
Yep. We just thought maybe later rather than sooner.
Maybe later rather than sooner, sort of spice it a little bit. But also that's, you know, that's unfortunately the disadvantage to playing in so many cups and being so successful and things like that, because we've got the Capra Pro quarterfinal against the Gap scattered in there. I'm unsure if the QAS game has been scheduled just yet, and that might be one of them. But yeah, a lot of football to be played. There's a lot of professional teams all around the world who don't play 7 games in a month. So I wish them all the best of luck.
You better believe it, yeah. We're right behind you, girls.
If very possible, we will be at every single one of them.
We will certainly make that effort.
We will certainly make that effort. So, fantastic. So that game is the Sunday the 11th of May at 6 p.m. at John Frederick Park at Capalaba. Please make sure you go down and see the girls and cheer them on.
Yeah.
They definitely deserve it with the way they've been playing.
I certainly do.
Fantastic performances, but of course, you support your team no matter what. You know, go and support your team. So this will be an absolute cracker of a match.
Oh yeah,
looking forward to it. Again, as we said before, if there's going to be goals, there's going to be a lot. If there's going to be none, it's going to be edge of the seat stuff the entire way.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, to quote a phrase that the A-League brought out years ago, you know, 90 minutes, 90 emotions. And I think that is so apt for this particular game coming up.
Yeah, definitely. And it sort of does have a bit of a Olympic Caboolture feel about it. That is, Capalaba might be one of those teams that are looking to upset those two.
Yeah, I think those 3 will definitely break away towards the middle and end of the season.
Yeah, fantastic. So 6 p.m. at Capalaba, John Frederick Park on Sunday.
See you there.
All right, in the second half of this podcast, we are reviewing the recent Olympic loss to Queensland Lions, our boys went down 2-1. And a very spirited performance.
Certainly was. It was from the whistle, it was just 100% plus more.
Yeah.
It was an incredible game. I still believe, and I've always said in the past, Lions were lucky.
Yes.
I think our boys played all over them. I mean, people might object to that or think I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But speaking to a certain gentleman from the Gold Coast Knights women's team,
coach,
he said the same thing. He said, I thought you're winning because you're all over them.
Yeah.
So that just goes to prove from a non-Olympic point of view how good our performance was.
Yeah, we had a quick chat to him afterwards because, we came to witness a Lions loss, and we did finally get one with the Gold Coast Knights women's match.
Happy with that.
But we spoke to him afterwards, and he said when he turned up, he saw that we were 1-0 down, but we were playing really, really well.
Yeah.
And then he had to go away and do some training, do some other things, came back, and we were 2-0 down, and he couldn't quite believe it.
He was a bit shocked.
I fully agree, bias and all that, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like we had more than our fair share of control that match.
Without a doubt, yeah.
When Lions had their control, they had to wrestle it from us, and we did get it back.
Yep.
Especially that first half, there was about 30 minutes where we were totally in control. That first 15, the second 15. The third 15.
And I don't think the Lions' backline and goalkeeper, they were lucky.
I think they were lucky in a lot of
efforts. On a better day, they'd have been 4-0 down.
Yeah.
Because we hammered them, and it was just luck that ball didn't go in the net.
And we got Lek, who's still coming back from injury and things like that, and Hiroshi, who's still coming back from injury. But Hiroshi made an impact on this match. He scored an absolute cracker of a goal.
Absolute brilliant goal.
Exactly why we signed him. Definitely lived up to a lot of the YouTube videos we saw of him when the rumors were circulating that we were going to get him. So absolutely fantastic. And once they hit their stride, it will be a different team.
Oh, without a doubt. But I thought they played fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Biased, one-eyed, yes.
Yeah.
But even from an outside source who said we played fantastic, it gave me a big
And I think we actually had a Lions supporter who also walked past us and said we deserved at least a point from that match as well.
Yes, he did. He made that comment, yeah.
But yeah, Lions set pieces are unmatched. And we've seen this a couple of times.
All through the last few years we've seen it.
Yeah, their set pieces are fantastic, and also their ability to get a free kick right in front of goal.
Yeah, funny that. Moving
on. Who impressed you during this match?
Oh, I thought Louis Greenwood played really well.
Yeah,
he was like 110% that day. And some of the tackles he made, some of the passes he made, I thought he was really impressive.
He is. He always has those moments, you know, and he makes those marauding runs up as well, and he always gets involved in play and things like that. And he is a fantastic player.
And it's hard because the whole squad played really, really well.
Yeah.
But for me, I thought Louis stood out.
Yeah. Despite the result on paper, we actually did play really well. We had control for a lot of those matches.
Yeah, we did.
For a lot of those moments, sorry. For me, Tommy Larkham was a player that stood out to me. Playing somewhat out of position.
Yeah, he's playing that new 6 role.
He was playing in a 6 role. We've slightly adjusted our tactical style to have 2 6s rather than Louis Greenwood slotting in to be that 6. Sort of allows Louis Greenwood to really, as you mentioned,
absolutely
have that freedom to play those passes.
And he takes it on so well.
Rather than anchoring them in that second 6. He's still learning the position, Tommy. I believe he had about 10 minutes against Wynnum Wolves. Played, I think, 60 minutes in this game. But for me, he controlled a lot of what Lions were trying to play through. Lions would have their long goal kicks, and Tommy, being such a big, strong presence, was on that ball almost every single time.
And he's just so cool too. I mean,
he's very composed.
A couple of moments there, the ball coming to the Lions, the player was right on top, and he just gone, and just walked away from him.
A quick turn or a quick pass, and off he went.
And his confidence level is just brilliant, and he's just so calm.
Yeah, very composed, and a really reserved person. We managed to, we had a quick chat to him after the match, and a really reserved person.
Yeah, very humble.
Very humble, very young as well, got a long future ahead of him.
Oh, brilliant future ahead of him.
But yeah, he was someone who stood out to me in that Lions match. I think the 2 6s is something that we've been working on for a little bit, because obviously we have had the right back cut in, be that double 6, that second 6.
And you can see it's working and getting better match by match.
You can see it's working, and I think it makes our defensive line obviously a lot better, a little bit stronger, because you've got more people in and around it.
Yes.
Lions, like I said, yes, we lost. There were 2 set-piece goals. So nothing from open play, which is a testament to that.
To our defensive lines and the midfield work,
It possibly has a little bit of a detriment to our forward attacking lines, But when you got people like Lathan, Leck, Linden, Hiroshi, even people who are coming through the 23s, such as Oscar, who scored on the weekend as well in the under 23s game, Will Avis. Of course, you got Felix, you got our Superman, who's coming on, who's had a couple of touches here and there, but was also facing an injury. I think Ali Ahmed as well.
Great talent, Ali is.
He plays left back predominantly, but he does make those marauding runs just as much as Simkin and
Fumi from midfield.
Fumi from midfield as well throws in and
Danny Driver
those passes and Danny Driver and Jack Hudson's balls from the middle are incredible.
Their passion is scary.
Yeah.
But brilliant.
So, and I do think that once Hiroshi really fits in, again, he got injured, so that probably...
He was out for a number of weeks.
He was out for a fair while, and...
Plus rain.
And that chemistry got stopped because of that.
Yep.
Leck as well was out for a little bit of injury and the rain as well, so the chemistry between him and Hiroshi and everything like that seemed to have a little bit of a...
Yeah, and it's starting to work.
It is starting to come together. We didn't have Linden for the Lions match. I do feel like Linden probably would have made a difference, in my opinion.
He would have enjoyed that game.
Because he's been incredible this year running through the lines and being able to...
Running into space as well.
Running into space and turning plays inside out, drawing them back and things like that. So it's unfortunate we didn't have Linden for that match. I think he would have really enjoyed it, but that's football, and we had the players on the pitch that were more than capable.
More than capable.
So
again, we look at our bench.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a frightening bench.
It is a frightening bench. So
the players we have available to us is just scary.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think Rossie's getting really close to getting that to click. So, but looking forward, we have Eastern Suburbs. This was a rescheduled rained out match. So it's good that we're getting some of those out of the way. This is, I think, the second in May of the 5 fixtures, or possibly 6 fixtures that the men have to deal with. Much as we said with the women, they're professional teams, and in Europe they don't play this many matches in a month.
It's a big strain on the lads, and not just our team. I mean, the whole league.
Everyone is facing
crazy situation. I mean, surely Football Queensland could have spaced it out a little bit better. And I suppose from their perspective, they want to get them out of the way so they can then retain. But still,
and we talk to each other about pushing the end date out, but there's possibly things that they have to do in regards to Football Australia as well. Right. Football Australia might say that no, this has to be a set end date and things like that.
If we push it out, you've got the oncoming A-League in those end of year.
So. We have common sense solutions to this, but we're not seeing the whole picture, of course.
Exactly right.
We're not in the back rooms.
We're not running Football Queensland just yet.
We're not running Football Queensland just yet. Yeah. I'm not sure anyone is. Anyway, so East have a bit of a mixed bag of results in their last 5. They drew with Penn Power. They beat Noosa Lions in the Queensland Cup, thrashed them 8-0. Drew with Logan Lightning in the Kappa Pro Series. Got beaten then in the Queensland Cup by Rochdale Rovers.
Good side, Rochdale.
Good side. Still FQPL 1 though.
Good side though.
And then a little bit of a shock result. I don't know if you watched this last night.
I haven't watched it, but I saw the result.
East 4, Gold Coast United 1.
I know. What happened there?
Yeah, incredible. Gold Coast United went up 1-0 and I went, yeah, cool. Yeah. Business as usual. I won't lie, I was watching some of the New South Wales NPL games. Rockdale Sydney Olympic was playing, so I was watching that instead.
Yeah. I saw the result, but catch up on that.
Yeah, and then my phone pinged and pinged and pinged, and I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
It was incredible.
But, East have amassed a good side. They've got, obviously, Cody Maud.
Yeah,
a fantastic right back.
Yep.
And they've got Scott Neville, who left Brisbane Roar.
Yep.
So they've amassed a good side. They've got a decent amount of financial backing as well to try to keep them in the NPL. And they were a bit of a stalwart team that stayed in the NPL for a few years.
Yeah, they was always unfortunately down that bottom end of the league. But obviously someone has to be down that bottom end of the league.
Exactly right. At the end of the year,
they've never been a team that's really imposed themselves on that top 5 or top 6, but. Then again, they're still hard to beat.
They're still hard to beat, obviously. So, it's still a team, and every game starts 0-0.
Exactly. So,
but we've had some absolutely fantastic results previously in Heath Park. I think there was a 2-0. We were 2-0 down and won at 3-2.
Yep.
In a couple of seasons ago,
that
we
was
were
a
having
great game. I remember that
horrendous season. But yeah, that was an absolutely fantastic game.
That was a cracker.
You know, unmatched emotion from that one. So they finished fourth. East finished fourth in the Kappa Pro Series game. They were in a group with Penn Power, Sunny Coast, Logan Lightning, Ipswich FC, and Capalaba. So to finish fourth from that, with only 2 wins, was a little bit interesting.
Yeah,
considering how they're clicking now. They had 7-4, 7 against. So again, it's another team that has a lot of goals for,
a lot of goals
but a lot of goals against.
Yeah.
They haven't quite worked out that balance yet.
Maybe they're on a survival route. Maybe they're looking towards the league more so than the cup.
Yeah, exactly right. And
we tend to look at the big boys for the cup, like your Morton Cities and your Gold Coast Knights.
And with the rain that we've had recently, I don't blame them. We're out of the Kappa Pro Series as well, and truly, I'm not upset.
No, I think, I'm upset in one way. I'd love to see the boys, continue forward.
Yeah.
But in having no extra rounds to play, that's got to be a bonus.
That's at least 1 up to 3 games that we save our legs for. So, in a season that's already had so much rain and so many disruptions. Eastern Suburbs are currently in 10th place, even with that win against Gold Coast United in the league. But you've got to remember they had that 3-point deduction for attempting to tap up a player who had already signed a contract.
Naughty boys.
So yeah, they currently have 2 wins and 2 draws after 4 played. 10 goals for, 5 against, 5 goal difference. So again, 5 conceded in 4 matches. That is, a lot of goals scored, a lot of goals conceded.
Exactly right.
So I do think there is a chance for us in this one.
I believe there is, yeah.
However, this is one of those pitches, because it is at Heath Park at Eastern Suburbs. It's one of those pitches that you can spit on and it's flooded.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we kind of have to hope for a sunny week or
sunny weekend, yep. Fingers crossed, Mother Nature.
Yeah, exactly right. And we haven't exactly been lucky this season so far. But if we can get a decent training run going, the pitches at Olympic are fine.
Yep.
Continue that chemistry build with Hiroshi, with Lek, with Lathan.
Yep.
I'm not sure if Lyndon will be back in time for this match, but like I said,
as far as I can recall, the only problem we may have would be Damien. Damien Carell, he had injury.
Yeah, Damien Carell, yes.
Come off the other day. While we spoke to Manny seemed confident and happy that progress was okay.
That it was more sore than a break or anything like that.
Yeah, which was really good. So we wish him well. So hopefully he'll be back on the pitch, if not the week after.
Yeah, because Damien Carell is obviously someone that we have spoken about a couple of times now on the podcast. He's someone who's incredibly impressed me, especially as well as yourself.
Yeah.
And one of those signings that make you remember that the people in those positions obviously know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Like Rossi.
Yeah, like Rossi. When he signed it, we were, okay, this is interesting. And he's been absolutely incredible since.
Rossi has got an incredible smart football brain.
Yeah, he really does.
Smart
and good people behind him as well.
He just knows. He's got this sixth sense. And he said the people behind him just back him up. And it's just a great management squad.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. So that game is on Saturday, the 10th of May at 7 p.m. at Heath Park. Like I said, keep an eye on the socials because it is one of those pitches that do
flood really easy.
At the drop of a hat. So, keep an eye out for that one, and we will see you there.
Good luck. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks.
Take care.